show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Yo, welcome to the Blue Lounge. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to our Sunday night live stream. Let's talk Chelsea live on the Blue Lounge. Big up to everyone in the chat. Thank you for being here. Smash that like button as you're coming in. I'd very much appreciate it. Tonight, as you can see, for the OGs in the house, and you know who you are, you recognize some old faces, some of the originals on the Blue Lounge. Max Burton, aka Burton Ballers, the Blue Bridge as it is right now, the Couch Critic, he's back. And we also have Nee Zion from Blue Clouds Media. Guys, welcome to the show. Big up to you. And I'm going to start by saying welcome back to Max. Max, how are you? How you doing?
Hey, nice to be back. It's been a minute. Yeah, all good, all good. All good on the
Welcome back.
personal side, but on the Chelsea side, a little bit depressing, but we'll talk about that.
Chelsea side is the issue, and that is an issue we will be talking a lot about today, next week, every day, pretty much until we see some change. But yeah, we'll put that aside for the time being. Let's say hello to Dennis, Couch Critic. How are you? How you doing? Welcome back.
Yes, yes, fellas. Big up, big up. 2026 is upon us. Let's get moving.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Nee Zion, Blue Clouds Media. How are you, my brother? How you doing? Nee, I think you're on mute.
All right, I forgot to mute myself. Yeah. Thank you for having me as usual. You know, I always say when you wake up in the morning and you hear those beautiful music and talking from these birds, all you have to say just thank God that I'm alive. So yeah, nice to have me on the show again as usual. So
God bless. God bless everyone. I see Courtney in the house. Courtney, big up to you. Jackie, big up to you. Everyone who's jumping on, please smash that like button. If you're new, subscribe. If you want to comment, subscribe. I'd very much appreciate it. All right. So we haven't talked since last week. Last week was quite a heavy stream. We addressed a lot of topics, mainly around Blueco. Since then, we've had a new manager walk through that door. Liam Rosenior has come in, and he's played a game. We won 5-1. Granted, it was against Charlton, but the performance, the result, I want to talk about it. I know it's early doors for us to kind of analyze and overanalyze what we saw. But off the bat, when Rosenior came in, when Rosenior was talked about as the next Chelsea manager, there was issues. Those issues, his lack of experience, the fact that he's coming from Strasbourg, the fact that he hasn't managed and hasn't won anything. A lot of questions are being asked. We saw him in the press conference. We saw him in the interview that he gave upon becoming the new Chelsea head coach. And I'll be honest with you guys, what I heard from the lad impressed me. The way he spoke, the enthusiasm he has, the energy that he brings in impressed me. However, his lack of experience is a question mark for me. I want to know what you guys think in the chat, and I also want to know what my panelists think in regards to Liam Rosenior. So, Liam Rosenior, what do you guys think? I'll open the topic to all of you, and whoever wants to jump in first, please go ahead.
Yeah, like you said, I actually think I like him from the early impressions. Is that he seems confident. He's saying the right things. I think he's going to be more of a people person than what Maresca was doing. Similar sort of tactics, but I think where he has it over Maresca a bit is because sometimes I got the opinion that Maresca wasn't really. Um, it's his way or the byway with him with the players, and I feel that he was a little bit aloof at times where um, Leroy Rossini seems a bit more personable. Having said that, I just feel that the jobs. It's a massive jobs managing Chelsea. I always remember the words of Alex Ferguson: "Is it takes it can swallow you up. A big job can swallow you up." You saw David Moyes, a man of big experience, when he came to from Everton to Man United. It was just too big a job for him. This job, and what I feel sorry for Rosina in that already there's discontent with the way the fans are with the board, and lots of people don't rate him. Just similar to when they didn't rate Maresca. So he's already coming in on the back foot, and has he got the personality to handle the pressure? I don't know. But the thing is, we're in a results business, and football is fickle. Football fans are fickle, as you know, because a lot of people didn't want Maresca. He won them over by winning trophies. The way that Rosenior can win the fans over quickly is results. If he's getting results quickly, that'll help him to settle in. If he's not getting results, then it's going to be long.
Do you think the fact that right now the fan base is focused on a different issue could be positive for him? Gives him a little bit more time.
Possibly. They were singing his. I heard yesterday, someone said
Yeah,
that they're actually singing his name.
Liam. Yeah, they're
And
saying yeah.
yeah, and they were mainly going at the board. But as I said, they're probably singing his name because we won the game 5-1. So had it been a different result, then it would have been, he's out of his depth already. Why are we getting in this guy? So as I said, results coming in, if they come, especially if we can get beat Arsenal, then it'll be a folk era already. So he's already made it. So you know, he's I judge him after. I always say my mantra is always I give the man my trust until he loses it. It's up to him to lose my trust. So he's going to get my backing until that time where he does stuff that doesn't let me support him. But I'll try and support him as best as I can.
Fair enough. Couch, you posted a video talking about the tactics and the um, um, the way that we play, the way that we move. What is your impression of what you saw in that game? I know it's a very small sample size, but what was your impression of the way Chelsea played against Charlton under Limousino?
Yeah, I don't know if much changed from how we played under Maresca, to be honest.
Mm.
Still had the box in the middle, still inverted the fullback. This time it was Hato as opposed to on the right side where it's Gusto or maybe even Cucurella. But the difference for me was just when you're inverting that fullback, he's not coming in to make up the pivot. He's going in the number 10 role. And that, I don't know, I want to see the most gifted ball carriers in that position myself. Of course, Hato comes in and scores, so incredible goal. But in those areas, like right inside the box, I want guys that are very good on the ball and know how to, conserve this pitch, make the right assessments in a very short amount of time. And yeah, that was the main thing that I noticed. That was the one real wrinkle that I did notice. But for the most part, it's still a box in the middle. You're still trying to isolate your wingers 1v1. You're still trying to, if they're playing with five, you want to come with six. So they're playing with a back five. We want to have six people attacking the box. Very, very similar. Obviously, you can say that the principles are a little bit different, but ultimately, I think that we're still playing the exact same side of football. This time, the difference was we were scoring more goals, and I think that had a lot to do with the opponent. After we went up, was it what 1-0, 2-1, 3-1, or whatever it was? They just started coming at us. A cup game, they have nothing to lose. They're at home, so spaces opened up. Enzo comes on and starts picking spaces. Esteval comes on and starts dribbling past. But ultimately, I didn't really see a whole lot of difference in how we wanted to play under Maresca and how we played under Mourinho. But even with that said, I don't think that we're going to see massive changes 2 days, like 2 days on the training pitch. He's probably just saying, "Here's what we want to do setup wise. This is what you're familiar with, and let's figure out the principles when we have a little bit more time on the training pitch." So, not a bad introduction. I thought that when you come in and you're winning 5-1, you can't say that that's not a good debut. I think there's going to be stiffer tests to come, and I think that his philosophy is going to be under real test even as early as Wednesday.
Yeah. No, Wednesdays there be a yeah, different kettle of fish, different opponents, different type of competition. I'm kind of worried about that fixture. I think it might be coming too soon. But this is the Premier League. This is Chelsea Football Club. This is the level that we're at. So, they're gonna games are gonna come thick and fast and at the highest level. I wanna address a different standpoint for Nee. So Nee, we've seen Enzo Maresca and his interaction with the players. He seems to be very friendly with the players. He seems to be quite hands-on. Giving instructions, talking to them on a one-to-one basis, both on the training ground, after the game. He interacts with them directly, rather than speaks to them as a group. How do you feel about the way that he is managing the team? How do you feel about the way he's interacting with the players? Do you think that the fact that he is of a similar age, he is young, they are young, is he going to be able to interact with them better? What's your take? Neo on mute
Yeah.
again.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, yep.
Yeah, thank you for the question. I'll go on and say what Max also said from beginning, where he said he'll be a fan favorite. He's a very good man manager. If you talk about man management, he's one of the best out there in the French league before he came. So I knew definitely it won't take him that hard, or it won't take him that much of a time to get the fan on board, to get the fan to his side. But also, if you talk about communication to players and all that stuff, a lot of the work is being done on the training pitch. So if I can give you a lot of examples, managers who don't talk too much on the sideline or on the touchline, they don't talk too much. Carlo Ancelotti is one of them. All his work has been done already. All he has to do is just put your presence there and don't make that much noise like Arteta does. It's not all the time that the noise impact the game. If what you're doing is not working, it's not going to work. You can be there 90 minutes through your hands left and right. If your tactics is not spot on, it's not gonna work. He can tell that what he wants them to do is already been practiced on the training pitch. So when they go there, let's go and execute what we practice on the training pitch. And that's what I saw. I saw also, I know you didn't ask. I just have a little a little bit to add to what we said earlier on. The question you asked earlier on in terms of what we've seen so far from Rosenior. I see a little bit different from Enzo Maresca in terms of he's trying to play directly from the middle. More of Enzo Maresca trying to use his left backs and right backs, trying to connect to the wingers all the time. We're going inside with him. I see a lot of going. Although getting inside was more for they see him more of a danger guy against Charlton, but then most of it, I saw a lot of direct play from the middle. And I see some variations of his play. Early days yet, I'm not going to get carried away, but I see him to be, the guy. And also communication level, he's more of a calm manager. But he has his moment. He has his moment in terms of when officiating doesn't go his way. He will come out and react. But most of the time, his work in terms of what let's do this, he gets them all together. He doesn't really call individual and say this and say that at the same time. But then most of the work is being done behind before they get on the page.
Me and Max were talking backstage just before we went live, and Max mentioned this. He said, I think in that game we saw Santos and Enzo playing closer
I'd say
together.
that.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Caicedo, yeah.
Caicedo.
Yeah.
Caicedo.
Yeah.
Were playing closer together, and that would definitely feed into what you were saying then, in regards to playing down the center. Having that more of a compact midfield. But again, the opposition that we were playing against is different to what we're going to be expecting to be playing against both in the Premier League and in the Champions League moving forward. I want to say big up to Behind the Nuggets, Kai, RC, DJ Sav, Dan, everyone who is jumping on. Thank you all for being here. And please make sure you're hitting that like button as you're coming on. And thank you for your comments. Please keep them coming in. What can we expect moving forward from Rosenior? I know, like I said before, small sample size, one game. We've talked about a lot of positives, but is he going to be able to express himself, knowing what we know in regards to the way this club is being run. What do you guys think?
He did said in the dress. I mean, his press conference. I mean, the preview of it, and he said, he's going to be in charge." But he has the confidence. He has to back himself. But I doubt he's going to recommend this and say, I want that player," which everything will be handed to him like on a silver platter. He will struggle. But most important thing is project managers are seen to be long-term managers because when as time goes on, they will get what they want. But in the early stages, first season, second season, he start rushing in for what he wants, or maybe he's not being back like we saw from Enzo Maresca. Then, as early as we can see, he won't even finish next season. But if he has, just like we said, yes man, indeed, if he's going to be the yes man, he will get what he wants as time goes on. But with immediate effect, he won't get everything right away. It will take him time, and which if he has that patience, he will get those players. So, yeah, I wouldn't go, into it and say, will he be in charge? He's definitely not going to be in charge 100%, but he will be affecting in terms of who comes in and who goes out, but not 100%.
I like the
Go on,
way he
Max.
said in the press
Go on.
conference a couple of times, "I'm the
Mm,
manager." He didn't say I was a coach, although we know
yeah.
he's a coach, but he sees himself as a manager. But um, I think I'm hoping, not I think, I'm hoping what will happen is because obviously we've had two managers already in Maresca and Poch telling this board what we need. And I'm hoping that the way, because you can see the PR coming out already from the board about the sort of players that they are looking at getting. So, with the pressure from the fans, this may help Rosenior actually, because they may get that experienced centre back or that elite striker or a player that we need in our team. So they're going to be running out of managers soon if they're not listening to what the managers are trying to say. Because I just feel that we all know it, and that they can't be stubborn all the time. We just need a couple of elite players in this team to help out the younger players. Sometimes it only takes one player. I mentioned this to somebody the other day. When we played in the League Cup final against Liverpool, when Liverpool had although our side was younger in age average, when you talk about experience, when Liverpool played us in the cup, there was a few players who'd never played or played through a handful of Premier League, Premier League games in their career. The reason they won it over us is that they had Van Dijk in that side, Marshall in that team, and he had the leadership qualities. If we had Thiago Silva, who was injured that day, then it would have been a different outcome. So, and if you look at Sunderland this season, they've got Zaka. Zaka is the one who's taken this young squad and using his experience. He's the manager on the pitch. Okay, so if we can if he can get help by getting in the right personnel, then yes. But if the board want to carry on doing what they're doing and stubborn with their approach and not wanting to get what we need, what the fans base know that we need, then
Max, I'm going to
it could
interrupt you
be
for 1 second.
a
I'm,
long
I'm
day
hearing
again.
it. I'm hearing a TV in the background. Is there someone got a TV back in the background playing? I'm hearing some.
From mine.
No, no. I'm not
No.
sure who it's from, but I'm hearing something in the background, like a TV or a radio or something, just playing in the background.
Oh no, no, no! I haven't got my TV switched off. So yeah,
Okay, I'm not sure
yeah,
where it's coming from. Sorry,
don't know.
Max, carry
Yeah,
on.
yeah. But what going on to his tactics now? What I did like what he said, and I'm hoping that he's true to his word, is that he looks at his players and plays to the strengths of his players, and he's not a slave to one sort of tactic. So he can play different sort of tactics. Yesterday we saw he started off in a five, and in the second half we went to more for four at times. So he hopefully he's flexible in his approach because I'm longing to see a manager who can master that low block because we've been struggling with that low block in the past. And I think with Maresca, he was stubborn to that way of playing. It's his way, and it doesn't matter. Against the big teams, it worked. Teams who come at you against the low blocks, we struggled a lot. So I'm just hoping that we will. And the acid test is Charlton. I'm not Charlton. Brentford next Saturday because they're a form team. They are a physical team. how we approach that game as well. It'd be interesting to see what he does against a team like that.
I am the manager, and I am in control. I'm paraphrasing. Is
Mm.
he couch?
No. I think when you bring in, I think there's an echo. That's what you're hearing, by the way.
Okay.
Um, I think when you bring in a manager that's inexperienced and young, what you're hoping to have is have somebody fall in the sort of like fall in their role in the structure. Like you don't want somebody that has tons of experience and is one that has more say than the sporting directors just because their CV says so. So for me, I think that his role is to be a trainer, be a guy that can motivate the squad and get them to play the style of football that the club wants to play. I don't think that he's going to be in charge of making any real personnel decisions. I don't think so at all. And even to that, I don't think they want to bring in somebody, and this is true about what I think even under Maresca, they don't want to bring in anybody with any real experience for the same reason. Somebody that has more of a stake or more gravitas in football than the manager right now. So they're going with a younger playing staff that have a lot less experience because they need somebody that will listen to the instructions of an inexperienced manager. You bring in somebody like I don't know, let's just say Van Dijk for argument's sake. Van Dijk comes into this Chelsea side. He's obviously the guy that has the most experience, the most winning, and all of that. Like if he falls out with the coach, rank and file, everyone else is just as discombobulated as he is. So I think it's important to get not just like I still think we need experience. Don't get it twisted. I think that that's number one paramount in everything that we do right now. The reason why we're struggling is just so we don't have the experience and we don't have the true leadership on the pitch. But I just don't think that that's the mandate for this consortium of people right now. They're looking for people that can come in, get their players to play the best style of football that they can, sell them on when they're not, and just keep it moving. I think the thing that we're going to get from Rosenior is the fact that he's very good in front of the camera. He's a guy that also, he puts his arm around players. We saw, like, I don't like to be honest with you. I think he's very performative. I don't like the fact that like I'm watching like the first video and he's already got his arm around Esteval and he's like, yeah, 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 this, that, and the other. And like Esteval barely speaks English and he's like, what are you actually saying to this guy? Like, what are you doing? Like, well, let's be real here. Like, this guy barely speaks English. So I feel like it's a little bit performative. And that's what they want. They want somebody. They want to show that we have we put the squad in the hands of somebody that cares about each and every one of those players. He's going to give everyone an equal opportunity, all of that. But the facts still remain. For me, it's really just going to be down to we have objectives of the season that we have to meet, but ultimately what he has to do is just put his arm around the players and make sure that he doesn't lose anybody. I don't think that, like, as much as we can make the argument that this is a long-term appointment because they gave him 6.5 years, I don't necessarily think that to be true. I think that, like, they were given they were basically caught with their pants down when Maresca walked out, and they didn't have a plan B. And for me, when you again, I'm just gonna go back real quickly. I don't wanna spend too much time on Maresca, but when you go into October and Maresca's asking for a new contract because he's being approached by Juve and Man City, and as a board, you've decided that you don't want to give him that bump up in his contract, right then and there, you've already decided that he's not going to be your long-term solution because there's a bit of a falling out there. So they're sort of like a plan B at this point was Rosenior. Wasn't it was Rosenior, and for me, it's just not good enough, right? It's not what you wanna see at this level. An inexperienced manager coming in who's never managed in the Prem, never managed in the Champions League, never did this, never did that. This is their solution, as a plan B, and for me, if things go pear-shaped, I think he can be out the door in the summer when the managerial merry-go-round starts again, with all these managers from the World Cup become available and all that stuff. I just think they had to give him this contract to show their sister club Strasbourg that they're not just robbing Peter to pay Paul, which is essentially what they did anyways, right? I don't know if Liam is a long-term solution there as much as, like, he's accepted a payout and said, "You know what? I'll give it my best. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't." Um, when I
Couch,
watch him play football sorry, just quickly, when I watch him play
go ahead.
football, the football that he installs, I think it's exciting, I think it's aggressive, but I don't know if it's conducive to winning at the highest level. So if this board and whatnot are, you know, motivated on winning trophies and stuff like that, I don't know if we got the long-term, solution at manager at this point in time.
So my concern is this. One of the statements that he said was he is very happy with the current squad. Now, obviously, you don't want to be talking badly about your squad. You're going to be talking positively about your squad. But I actually think that he does believe he has got a top squad here. And I think that is because of what he has been used to working with in the past. Don't get me wrong, our squad is not a bad squad, but it's not, for me, it is not the level of squad, the level of player that we need to be pursuing Premier League titles and Champions League success. It is, it needs a lot more improvements for it to be at that level. But the fact that he is happy with it today, okay, but I am 99.9% sure by the end of the season, maybe even by midway through next season, he'll be looking at the squad and he will be looking at the structure of the team, and he will reach the same point that Enzo Maresca has reached. He will be reaching the same point that Pochettino has reached. He will be reaching a point where I am limited here. I do need that maturity. I do need that experience. I do need those players who can pull the team across that line and get us to a title challenge or a Champions League. And I think he will be doing all he can with this team because he is used to working with, with all due respect to the players in Hull and the players in Strasbourg and Derby, he has been used to working with a lower level of players. These are better players, but they're not the level that you want for a title. Am I correct? Am I wrong? What's your opinions on this statement, guys?
Is he just towing the party line, just saying that he's happy? Because Maresca used to say that all the time, and
Yeah.
then even up to the day he walked out 2 days before, he said, "Yeah, I'm happy with every one of these players." And you can't really go and say, "Oh, these players are rubbish," because at the end of the day, you got to work with them. So he's saying that. So I feel he's a sensible enough man because obviously he wants to uh, look good at the end of the day, and he's been given this opportunity. So he's not going to want players who are of a poor quality. Obviously, that's gonna you can't implement his style because then it's him who takes the brunt, not the players. So he's gonna be. I'm hoping that he's got the balls to come out and say, look, these are the players who I don't feel are good enough for us going forward if you want us to win things. I think also going on from what Couch was saying, I think there is a break clause I read somewhere in his contract. I'm not sure when it is. Is it at the end? And there's talk about getting into the Champions League. Um, but again, uh, if that's the aim for the rest of the season to get into the Champions League, um, maybe he's keeping the seat warm until the summer. If he does really well, then obviously he can keep the job. But if things don't go great, then he maybe is going to be the one who's the fall guy at the end of the day. Um, I don't know, but um, it's a difficult one. It's difficult to tell how this is going to pan out. It's yeah, as you've shown the table here. It's a tight table. Our next, what he's got as well in his favour. If you've looked at, I know it's on paper and everything else, but if you look on paper, our next 6 league games are quite favourable on paper. Um, so hope these there are a few winnable games in there. Apart from obviously, oh, we played Man City. Who we got? Have you got the league tables coming up there?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm putting on.
yeah. Brentford at home. I know Brentford are playing quite well at the moment, but we're at home to them. We should be looking to really get back to winning ways. Palace are not. They got knocked out by Macclesfield the other day, didn't they? And they may be losing Gueye, so their form's sort of hit and miss at the moment. We all know that West Ham are struggling. So yeah, and I think
Paphos
the
and
two games after that as well.
Paphos and Napoli are the ones that are quite
Yeah,
important.
I'm looking at the
Pa-
league games though.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, it's funny too.
Paphos we
Like,
should really beat.
I think when we're talking about whether or not this is going to be, if he has full charge of the playing staff, one thing that's going to be a tell for me, like first and foremost, is whether or not Raheem Sterling gets a look in. Because I'm of the opinion that he was pushed out because he makes too much money. And it wasn't necessarily a Maresca decision as much as it was a club decision that they have to find a way to force this guy out. If he's really about giving everyone a fresh start and giving people an opportunity to earn their spot, then there's no reason why Raheem shouldn't be back in the side. Like he's better than Gittins and he's better than Garnacho for damn sure on that left. So you can't tell me that he can't get any minutes in this side if there isn't some sort of a mandate to keep him out of the squad.
Couch. I want to talk about this. I really want to talk about this because what you've just said is something that I agree with 100%. But I think a lot of the fan base don't seem to see that. Um, Raheem Sterling is not the best, but Raheem Sterling is definitely a lot better than what we currently have. At least, be part of the squad, be part of the setup. He has the experience. He has the knowledge. He's done it at the highest level. Okay, even if you don't use him every game, bring him on as a substitute. Utilize him in some way. Have him around those youngsters, the likes of Gittins, Garnacho, Esteval. He has a lot that he can he can benefit the squad from. Why are we so adamant to push him aside in the way that we have?
Look, I don't know what we're talking about Raheem Sterling here, Mo. Raheem, do we want to move on as a football club, or we still want to stick to our old ways?
I want to win. That's what I want to do.
Well,
Yeah,
he's
that's
not
one
gonna
way.
he's not gonna make you win.
Well,
He's
he's
not
better
gonna
than
make you win.
Gittins and he's better than Garnacho.
There's
He's
no he
better than
hasn't
those
shown
two.
he hasn't shown in the last 2 seasons he played for Chelsea and Arsenal that he is better than those players on the pitch. He's just
Well, I
like them.
mean, I would say that I would think that he has more ability to score goals than Garnacho and Gittins. That's my opinion.
Where's the
So
ability? I understand. Where's the ability? This guy shows experience and maturity. He went to pick up the ball from one of the young players and he skied the penalty. Where is that
I
ability
mean,
from?
we could say the exact same thing about any of those other guys though too. Like
But they
it's
don't sky the
football.
penalty like he did. He went to pick it up and then sky the penalty, and he's gonna show us a winning way. Is that how we're gonna win now? Ryan Sterling, who doesn't want to,
I
he
just
has
think he
no
needs the best playing
motivation.
staff.
He has no
So, so
motivation to play football.
do
If
we
he's that,
do we
if he's that, if he wants to
knee
play football, bro,
knee
there's so
knee
many Premier League clubs he
knee
can join and
knee
play
knee
football.
knee? You have a bad game. Let me just paint a picture. So you have a bad game. The game finishes. You and the team go into the dressing room. The manager is giving the team a grilling. He's giving you a grilling. But then Iqbali walks in. And Iqbali starts to give you a grilling in front of the entire squad in the dressing room. Guys, I'm getting some really bad echo here.
Yeah,
I'm
me
getting some
too.
really bad echo. Hello?
Someone is talking.
Me.
Yeah, it's gone now. It's gone now. So when you are one of the senior players and you're in the dressing room and you're getting grilled by the owner of the club, how is that going to impact you in regards to your morale, in regards to your enthusiasm and your motivation? It's going to have a mad negative impact on you. So if because of that you lash out, it is unprofessional. I understand. It is not what you want from a player. I understand. But you got to look at the entire context of the situation with Raheem Sterling. Raheem Sterling is not the best, but he is better. Raheem Sterling, and like I said, even if you don't play him every game, having him in and around the squad with his experience, with what he has achieved, with what he has done, the clubs that he's played for, that can't harm your club. That can't harm your squad. So that's the argument. It's not that let's look at the numbers, let's look at the stats. He hasn't played for nearly a whole season now, but he does have attributes that we can utilize, and I'd rather have those utilized than him not even having any chance or any role within the club. We are paying him thousand a week, I believe. So we're
Mm.
paying him money. Let's use him. Let's utilize him. But I mean, that's my argument.
Yeah, I feel the same.
Mm,
I don't know. I don't even think that it's about like making him bring him. I'm saying to have the manager have a look at him to see if he's somebody he can use. Like it's not so much like he might. It may end up that he doesn't think that he's good enough, But I think the tell is going to be if you have a player like that, and Maresca came out and said, "I don't need this guy." Like whatever. I don't even think that he looked at him once. He just said, "I don't need him," and they just casted him aside. That to me was about the board making the decision rather than the manager. That's what I'm saying. This is the tell for me. If they allow him to come back into the squad to see if he can like figure out how to play under Rosenior, then we know that Rosenior has more control over the playing staff than they're letting on. But right now, it just feels like this is what you're given. Do what you got to do. We'll bring in players if we think we need players, but you don't really have any say in that. That's the vibe I'm getting.
yeah, it would be nice for him to have a word with him because, but like Nee, I'm in agreement with Nee because I think he's lost his motivation and his hunger. Okay, in his second season with us, he wasn't great, but you thought going to Arsenal, he will sort of show us what we were missing a bit. But even at Arsenal, he wasn't really getting the minutes in those games. Um, Maybe a different environment, different manager. If Rosenior is this people manager who can is good at motivation, then it could work. Because if you look at even Gittins yesterday, I thought his showing yesterday. Okay, it's Charlton, the opposition, but he looked a lot more confident because what you've seen with Gittin, he looks like a nervous wreck. But yesterday, he wanted the ball. He was always showing for the ball. He was always trying to beat his man. Maybe that was a pep talk from our new manager, which encouraged him to do that. Yeah, so yeah, we never know if as I said, we can get a tune out of Sterling because as Couch said, he is better than the other two from what I see. He's seen it, done it, wore the t-shirt, and he can give us goals from that position. So yeah, it's interesting to see whether he will come back into the fold.
And Gittins was playing out of position, and he still did a decent job. Again, Charlton, but he did a decent job. Lads, I want to address this. And right now we have a massive issue within the club, and we heard the fans at the grounds making it known over the past couple of fixtures how they feel. We've been doing it on social media for quite some time. I mean, I've been at it with these guys for a couple of years now. But now we've got the match going fans shouting Roman Abramovich, using words that I can't say on the stream in regards to Iqbali and where we want to see him go. What is happening here? Are we actually going to see some sort of change? Are we actually going to see some sort of impact? Because, as we all know, protests have been organized. A lot of different activities have been put in place in regards to how the fan base is dealing with the ownership. Are we going to see any change? Is there any room for change? What we've seen from McBarley is he's a very stubborn individual. He doubles down every time he sees some sort of resistance. He doubles down with his position. What's your take on this, guys? Where do you see us going in regards to this situation?
Listen, he's not answering just himself. He's got a
Mm,
private equity firm, and these investors want to see a return on their investment. Okay,
mm,
and they don't want bad PR neither, and so he's got to be careful. There was a report, as I said, yeah, all these reports, you don't know what to believe and what not to believe, but there was a report that some of the investors were not happy with what's going on at Chelsea at the moment with the atmosphere, etc. And it's just making it look bad on what the club are doing at the moment. And you could, and as I said, we are a PR machine, and so you see after every result or every time something happens on social media, you've got your PR people, you've got your Ben Jacobs and Matt Laws and all those people who are the PR machine for the Egg Barley, Clear Lake people coming out with some quotes. There was something from Simon Phillips, wasn't there, the other day? I'm not sure you read it, where they met with three of our the journalists, and they were coming out and saying that we've acknowledged that we have made mistakes, which is something that they haven't done in the past. So, and they are saying that they believe that what they're doing is going to work in the long run, etc., etc. So they can see the atmosphere and the temperature of the club at the moment. If you saw after the match against Fulham, where they panned to Egg Barley, and he looked like visibly shocked at the abuse that was coming his way. Because as you said, we a lot of it's social media, and social media is separated from match going. But now that the match going, people are coming up and singing these songs, and with the protests coming up as well, then it is going to hit home to these people. I don't. You say he's stubborn and stuff. He's still human, and it is going to hit home. And I do believe that. I'm hoping that there are going to be some changes made because, but as I keep saying, we are a fickle bunch. This football's fickle. If we start winning games, if at the end of the season we come away with an FA Cup or even Champions League, typical Chelsea wouldn't put it past us to win the Champions League. I'm not saying we're going to win
The
it, by the way,
season,
before everyone in the chat comes at me.
yeah,
But
this season's difficult,
Chelsea
Max.
being no, but I'm saying Chelsea being Chelsea is just that's something
Yeah,
Chelsea can
can't
do.
count
But
us
I
out.
said I'm
Can't
not.
count us out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So if results still start are not going in the right direction, then at the end of the season, then he's going to be forced to make changes because it's going to get toxic real quick. It's toxic at the moment. It's just going to get even more toxic.
Yeah, I just think that when you look at like Fortune 500 clubs, the mentality throughout the entire structure is exactly the same. Everyone's pushing in the same direction. They have the same sort of temperament, like win now, like the let's make as much money as possible. They get those types of personalities to work within their structure. And when I look at Chelsea right now, I just think the structure is not conducive to winning. We don't have any winners in it, like from the board, from the ownership right down. Like there's nobody that has won at the highest level. What they have done is been able to find, the diamonds in the roughs, the Caicedos and whatnot, but they haven't been able to build a squad that is conducive to winning. So again, we can go back. We all know, like when Rowan bought Chelsea, what did he do? He went and got Peter Kenyon. Peter Kenyon was at Man United, and he told him how to build the structure. And then from there, the rest is history. We haven't done anything like that. So and I don't think that Egbali is a stupid man. I think that he's a guy that is obviously very successful in business as well. But I don't think that he is somebody that has surrounded himself with people that are like-minded and let's get this job done, win. And the other thing to that too is he hasn't really invested any of his own money. Like the person that has the most personal investment is Bowley, and he's the guy that's being ushered out the door, being told that we don't want to hear from you. I'm managing this massive, investment fund, so I have the most stake in this, even though he has the least amount of actual capital invested in it. So right from there, first and foremost, there's a disconnect there, and then when you look at like the fact that like these sporting directors have not only I don't think they've done well, to be honest. They've been through 4 or 5 different managers. They have specifically kept us in and around fourth, whatever. It doesn't really matter. We finished 10th, we finished whatever, sixth, whatever. We haven't really been always angled at the Champions League. And then on top of that, they brought in all these players that, some hit, some miss, more misses than hits. And then they also have us in this transfer restriction as well, where, we have to sell to buy. We can't get these players in. This is all on their heads. And there's been absolutely no recourse for that other than, okay, well, in the summer, well, we won the Club World Cup. Here's a bonus. Here's an extension. So that like even the ideology of how you build a winner for me, has just completely been lost in this Chelsea structure right now. We don't think about winning the way that winners think. I don't think, at least. We've all lived through the Roman era. We all lived through, other teams that have been successful, and this structure doesn't seem like it's conducive to being winners. And that's how I see it, at least. I don't know.
So, Couch, though, don't you think though that these sporting directors, the reason why they've got these extensions as well is because they are following the instructions of the guys higher up. That's what they want. Because I remember I was watching an interview from Meg Barley and was it Felicini or whatever his name, Felicini or whatever the guy's name
Feliciano.
is, Feliciano, yeah. And what they said is they love the Brighton model because they can they know how to buy young players and sell them on at a profit, and so they're looking at that aspect as well, as getting players in. That's why we're getting in these Estevals, these Quendas, and people like that as well, where we're getting them young and cheaper. And they also said if it works out, good, we'll keep them. If it doesn't, then we'll sell at a profit. Where we've gone wrong, though, I think, is in the execution, because how many players have we sold at a profit? Apart from what's the guy, the Portuguese guy,
Vega.
Vega,
Now, Phil,
Vega,
Mm.
yeah, we sold him at a profit. But people like Datro Fafana and even the worst one, I think, is that Washington guy, because Washington 20 million spent on him. We're to send him back to Santos, and now we're still looking for a club for him. And it's those little bitty players. That guy we got from Villa, I think it was just a PSR
Kellerman.
fudge, yeah. And he's over at Cardiff City at the moment. We're never going to make 17 million back for this guy. I don't even know what he's plays. I don't even know what his playing style is. Never seen him play kick a ball in my life.
No.
Um, and
I don't
and
think
there's
he was
some
meant to either. Like that was basically a balanced
There's a
PSR.
PSR thing, yeah.
Yeah.
There's a dodgy PSR deal, yeah. But and the irony is as well is that we've bought in is all these 15 million here, 20 million there, 10 million there on these players who are not going to probably make us a profit in the long run, and those are the if it all adds up to about 100 million, which made us in breach of the PSR rules in the first place. Had we not splashed out on these
Hmm.
silly players, then we would have been in a much better position than we are now.
Max, these lot bought the club debt free.
Yep.
Debt free. Is it 1.7, 1.8 billion that we're in debt right now? Something like that.
Yeah.
Are they in debt? I don't.
Yeah.
How are they in debt?
The club is in debt
They are
right
in.
now.
They're in debt.
The club is in debt. I think it's 1.7 or 1.8 billion or something stupid like that.
I'm not sure what
Which
the
Really?
is
figure is, but I'm
yeah,
not sure what
yeah.
the figure is. But they're in debt.
Didn't know that.
I read it somewhere that we are currently, or at least Blue Co is currently in debt. So it might be from Strasbourg and Chelsea combined. That figure might be something along those lines. But we are in debt right now. A club that was debt free 3 years ago is in debt right now, and why is that? I mean, why are they taking out loans?
Yeah.
It doesn't
And
doesn't make any sense. I don't know.
yeah, the thing is because one of the stipulations was that they had to spend £1 billion on the squad improvements. So they done that in the one window, didn't they? Practically, or two
Mm.
windows. They spent the billion. Yeah, because you look at Caicedo and Fernandez, between them was half a billion, quarter of a billion, wasn't it, between those two players on their own? Um, so I think all the money that they're spending now is debt as well, because and the problem is as well what we haven't addressed is the front of shirt sponsor, which is crippling us.
Yeah.
I read something today where they said, oh, we're quite comfortable. They're billionaires and the logic doesn't add up. I don't know how they became billionaires with this logic. Oh, because we made £100 million in the World Club Cup, we're okay with not having a sponsor. But
Max,
oh, that's just
Max,
a stupid excuse. Yeah.
the thing is this. when you are dealing with assets, with buildings, with merchandise, it is different than when you're dealing with a living entity. Chelsea Football Club is a living entity. And when I say living, it is dependent on the fans, depending on the performances. If you buy a building or you buy a factory, you know how much is your overheads are. You know how much your expenses, where your sales are going to be. Projections for your sales. You can work out the trajectory of that business. But when you're dealing with a living entity that is measured by performances on a football pitch in regards to its success, in regards to its reputation, in regards to its prestige, it is different. It isn't about selling a player for 20 million and then hoping that in a year or two you can sell him for 50 and then you're making a profit, because it doesn't work like that with human beings, with with their living entity. And I think the model that they're bringing in, the mindset that they're bringing in, is purely business oriented. And when you're trying to have that come into a entity like this, is a little bit different. And I think this is probably why Todd Bowley might have had a better understanding, because he has got sports enterprises, clubs that he's dealt with, so he kind of knows that side of it. But as he has been sidelined, we have seen this model be enforced in a more narrow vision, in a more monetary driven method than it was under Todd Bowley. With Todd Bowley, when he was around, there was a little bit more, experience. Maybe let's get into, a player that has achieved. I mean, he was even thinking about buying Cristiano Ronaldo because of his reputation and his history and whatnot, not realizing that the guy has, gone long in the tooth. But you can see the way that he was thinking was a little bit different than Iqbali. And I haven't heard from Nee for a minute. So, Nee, what's your take on the situation, brother?
Look, I know the fan base have a lot of negative aspiration or negative aspect of these owners. But to be honest with you, I've seen, I've listened, I've videos on it. There's two different ideas in terms of these winners. They are experience, in between. Be it like the Bali, not experienced in terms of the sports fraternity, but Todd Bowley is a winner, and he has a lot of experience. Him owning and directing the LA Dodgers will tell you that's an example. Also, being part owner of the Lakers, the basketball team, is also one of them. He in charge of being owner as the LA Dodgers have won the World Series, I think 4 or 5 times in a row. That's a great achievement, and this is how he did it. He blamed
They
young
won the
players,
they won the World Series 4 times in a row.
if I can remember, about 4 times in a row. Because I can remember last season they won it. I'm not sure about this season. Last 2 seasons they won it.
Yeah, last
Yeah,
two.
last 2 seasons I can remember they won it. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, like I'm saying, that's how he did it. He has young players, those that he brought from Japan, some young players he brought from Japan, and those that have been there for a long time. I still blend them with the youth and then the experience, if I can say. So we thought Bolly be around him, and just like Mo, you said, he wanted Cristiano Ronaldo. Once upon a time, there was even people talking about him trying to bring Neymar to the football club, Kylian Mbappe. He wants to blend. He wants to do what the fans want. We understand the terrain has changed. The Abramovich era, the way football has been run has changed. Now, if you look at football right now, sometimes I feel like it's not even interesting anymore. If when we have derby games, when you have Premier League games, it's not like 20 years ago, even 25 years ago, where when you see Chelsea going to play Arsenal, we have Thierry Henry, we have David Dennis Beckham, we have the Lampard, we have these faces are there. This is what we want to see. This is what we've grown seeing. Now it's all about kids. I was just watching El Clasico a few hours ago or a few minutes ago, and saw kids. Although it is the same football club, but it doesn't look attractive like it used to be before. That's the modern day football. It's more business or young players, and that is the terrain. We can't run the football like we used to run in more. Run the football under Roma because of PSR. And I know they want to win because of the hedge funds, where they pick the money from. Where the money is coming from, they have to repay back. And how can they do that? They have to be successful on the football page. They want to, but the way a manager want football to be successful at Chelsea is going to be difficult because it's not proven in the Premier League by using young players alone to achieve that. It's going to be very difficult. But to be honest with you, they want success. But the way they're going about is what we all don't like it because it's all young players and you can't achieve. I say you can win laurels, so you can win trophies with these young players. But besides that, if things goes on well, one way or the other, Todd Bowley alone is able to buy Clay Lake out. That's also been a problem why the club is suffering right now because two different ideologies in terms of
Exactly.
how they want to run the football club. Todd Bowley wants it in a different way. Big that Egbali wants it in a different way, and the way Todd Bowley wants it, let's get else called. Let's do this. It's also very very good idea because why are people even think Tottenham Hotspur are one of the biggest clubs in Europe? They're not. They're not. But financially, they are because of what the revenue they generate from the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. That is how Todd Bowley wants to rebuild Chelsea to be. So if even we're not getting money from player sales, it's not going to rely on player sales alone. At least we can get revenue from the stadium. But also another problem, be that Bali wants to do it in a different way, Todd Bowley wants to do it a different way. That is one of the
That,
problems.
that's the biggest thing for me. And even going back to what Nee was saying about the Dodgers. Like I think if you noted, like what he did, he went out and got the best players. He went and got Mookie Betts from Boston. He went and got what did he get? Shohei Hotani last year. Like these are the best players in the game. That's how he wanted to build it. When he came into Chelsea, it was the exact same thing. I mean, he didn't do it well, but he was looking for name players to come in and build it again. He was getting like Koulibaly. He brought in Raheem Sterling through that window. Fafana, all these guys. That's he didn't want to go this youth route. That was what happened after they determined that he mismanaged that money by buying these players that were not ready to be done. So then they brought in the other sporting directors and they completely went the other way and said, okay, let's get into Fafana, like Datro Fafana and all these guys or whatever that weren't household names, diamonds in the rough that were supposed to develop and become the next name. So for me, it's not about like I think Nee hit it right on the head. It's two different ideologies that are at a head right now. Like you have the Bowley approach, which is like get the star names in and build the profile of the club with star names, and then you have the Big Dad. I don't even think it's his approach as much as it is the sporting directors. Let's
Sporting
find these
director.
diamonds in the rough, develop them, and then sell them on. That's another way of making revenue, and you know, I don't think that that is the best way for us. We're not going to be able to enjoy the football if that's the model. We're just basically going to be along for the ride and hoping that the few of the darts that we throw at the board hit the bullseye. But it's not really. It's not. That's not how you build a football team. I'm sorry. It's just not. So yeah, it's a tough place to
Mm.
be in right now.
I wanna show this comment, and it's from the Chelsea boy. He says, "Bowley isn't better. He only cares about the pound note." So I agree that they both care about the pound note, but I think the way they are prepared to achieve that pound note is different. They're all gonna want the pound note. Everyone's gonna be looking to earn money and make money, but you can do it and be successful as a football team, or you can do it when you are driving the club into the ground and gathering debts and then trying to pass that on to the next potential person who comes along. So the methodology is important for us as Chelsea fans. But yeah, I agree with you, Chelsea boy. They all want to make money. But
Yeah,
talking about wanting to make money, and Max, I'll let you come in on this first. Talking about making money, one thing that is problematic, and that is to get rid of these ownerships as a whole. However, as we saw a transition from Bowley to Iqbali, could we also see the transition back towards Bowley be the next step and potentially fix some of the issues? Could that be the way forward, Max?
I don't think there's been. Sorry, I know you asked Max. I don't think there has been a transition. Has there been a transition from Bowley to Bali? I don't think so.
Yeah,
Just
there has been.
Bowley has stepped
The
down a
in the
bit.
philosophy, yeah, he stepped down from the chairman role,
Yeah.
and it is a philosophy change because obviously, as Mo was saying, and Nini earlier was not Nini, you're Nini, Couch was saying earlier that we were buying stellar. So you could see what Bowley's approach was before Ed Barley stepped in by buying these stellar players. But then
Ronaldo, he
I
wanted
think
to, don't forget.
I blame Cucurella for all this, by the way. And the reason why Cucurella gets the blame is because when they were doing business with Brighton, they had that meeting with Tony Bloom, and they found out how he did it with all these players, getting these players and making a big profit. Because obviously, and plus we thought, oh, they bought Moise Caicedo as well for 4 million and sold him to us for 105. So this is a way that we can do it as well, And so that's the route, because they've mentioned Brighton a couple of times in their talks as well, how they like that particular model. Um, so with if Bowley takes over again, two things can happen apparently, because with the I there's this guy Bobby, what's his name? Bobby Signal. I can't remember his name. On
Have you?
sorry, Fairview.
Okay.
Yeah. He's a financial guy as well. So he's seen it happen at, I think it was Inter Milan where it's happened as well, where the investors, Clear Lake already are. They've got some dodgy dealings with some pension company, haven't they? Where there's a bankruptcy notice going out for some pension firm that they manage. So there is some issues going on there. So they could be taken over by a different, like what happened at Inter Milan, where another um, firm can take over financially and change the direction that we're going in at the moment. The other thing was there was talk uh, last year when there was unrest during the Pochettino reign, where Bowley and Ed Barley had a fallout, and there was talk that Bowley was actually looking for investors so that he can buy out Ed Barley, but Ed Barley said he wasn't going anywhere, and that's the problem because Ed Barley doesn't want to go anywhere. But as I said, if the atmosphere in the ground gets really toxic, then maybe you'll think, you know what, it'll be best for me just to
Yeah,
go rather
that's
than
my
be public
thinking.
enemy
Yeah.
number one. So there is a possibility if the investment can be. There's plenty of uh, people who still want to invest in football as well. So um, yeah, so that may be an opportunity where we can do it. But as I said, I just don't know because Ed Barley seems quite stubborn to me, and I think there are some people in the game though who think that he's. I'm not sure if you guys heard Simon Jordan the other day on Talk Sport, where
Yeah. Yeah,
he was
about
saying
Bali.
about Igbali, and
Listen.
he's saying that he's a very knowledgeable guy and he knows what
That's
he's doing. He just needs a bit of patience with him. I don't know, but I'm just a man who looks at football from the outside. I haven't got and I give my footballing opinions. So I'm not really. There's some people who are
I'm gonna
inside
ask
the
you.
game who know
I'm
more
gonna
than me. So I don't know,
I'm gonna
but I
a-
just
I'm gonna ask you guys this question. I'm gonna
Let
ask
me
you
say
guys this
this
question.
real quick.
Wait,
Let me
wait,
say
wait,
this
wait,
real quick.
wait, Whitney,
Mo.
wait, Whitney, wait, wait. Why have we not got a front of shirt sponsor till now? What is the excuse that they have been given? They have said because we are trying to get the best deal possible. Now, the best deal possible will only be achieved when you are in the best competitions possible. Because if you want to ask for 60 plus million pound sponsorship deal, you need to be in the Champions League. You need to be playing at the top level. If we are not achieving that sporting success, we will get a front shirt sponsor, but we won't be getting the money that they're actually looking for. So, from a business standpoint, this doesn't make any sense. If Iqbali is so well or is so knowledgeable about business transactions and maneuvering and whatnot, this is quite simple. A front shirt sponsor is not rocket science, as they would say. and yet
Yeah,
we seem to be. I don't know.
I was hearing the other day that what they're waiting for is this Time and Warner merger to take place because they want to get the Paramount deal through the door. And once that is, that's the rumor. The hot rumor is that
Mm.
they're waiting for this this Time Warner merger to take
That's
place.
that's been something looking at for a couple of years now. Though,
Well,
Paramount.
the
It's
Warner,
not.
they already had the Paramount deal, and
Mm.
then the Premier League turned it down. Right? They were like, it's conflict of interest or something like that. But
Broadcasting rights and whatnot. Yeah.
right, but I think again, I don't know the specifics about it, but I did hear that they're waiting for this merger to come in. And if that merger goes through, it might make it easier because I think Netflix might have some role in it as well. Like they might take over some of the rights of the Premier League. Anyways, um, they might be able to do the Paramount deal, which was supposed to be lucrative, and it meets all of their objectives in terms of what they want in a sponsorship. So I don't know. Like I agree with you. From the outside looking in, it just looks like a complete failure. Like how many years have we not had a shirt sponsor, and we're talking about like growing revenue and growing capital, and we don't even have somebody that can like just even whatever Dunkin' Donuts on the front of our shirt, whatever it is, right? Like, who cares, man? Just get the money in, right? Like, what are we doing here? And yeah, it's a bit of a tire fire as is, but I don't know if there is a bigger play at hand and like a bigger sort of like stake, then sure, like if they're willing to stomach waiting for something like that to happen, then that's their prerogative to do that, right? But yeah,
But
it's not a
even
good.
so, then something's better than nothing, right? So
Yeah, for
even
sure.
if they were waiting, couldn't they negotiate? They did it something with Damak, didn't they?
Infinite athlete.
Uh, where we just did it for a period of time.
Mm.
So, and obviously we had Affinity on there for a season or whatever. So, even if it's like 6 month, 8 month deal, even if you're just getting 20 million, 20 million is 20 million. 20 million is better than nothing. Or-
Exactly.
So, yeah.
Nee, you want to jump in, Nee?
No, yeah, I forgot what I was gonna say. Thing, I forgot.
We're talking about the sponsorship deal
Oh, with the
for,
sponsorship deal.
for the shirt.
Yeah,
For the
look,
shirt. Yeah.
this is what I want to say about. No, I was talking about what I was going to say earlier on. I know you guys
Oh, oh,
talk. Yeah,
sorry, sorry, man.
yeah, that's all right. Look, with this sponsorship, I don't really care if there's sponsorship, there isn't sponsorship. All I know is that's the team. Chelsea's right there. Whether Samsung, Nike, whoever is in front of it, I don't really give a damn about it. You know why? Same fan base that are saying these guys are hungry bastards, greedy bastards. They're here to just pick all the money away. The same fans are worried about why don't you have sponsorship? Where's the money? What we want? We want more money. We don't want one less money. I don't really give a damn about it. It doesn't matter. It doesn't change the winning mentality. It doesn't change anything. Sponsorship or without sponsorship, it's still Chelsea. I don't really
I
care.
argue it does. It does change. It does is important because the more money you get into the club, the more you can invest in the club, and we don't get hit with these PSR penalties.
I
Well,
understand
and
that's the
next
aspect
season,
of it,
yeah,
uh, Bobby. I understand that aspect of it, but this is the same fan. Some of the
Max,
fan bills
Max,
that they
next,
don't
Max.
want
next.
to go and watch they don't want to go and watch the game for the fans, for the owners to get money. They don't want to buy this jersey for these owners to get money. A lot of them are saying it, and they turn around and then said, "Why don't we have this? Or it would be good if you had the sponsorship there." But in that aspect, you're thinking about a PSR, which will help the football club, but they don't see it in that aspect of it. They don't see it that way. They see it to be nice to have the because when they buy the jersey, there's sponsorship there, either Qatar Airways, either Samsung, or either Nike in front of it. That is how they want. But they're not looking at the paper, the paperwork aspect of it. That is it. That's the difference. You get what I'm saying?
I prefer a shirt without a sponsor if I'm fair. If I'm a fan, I don't want to be sponsoring uh, somebody on my shirt. So
Yeah.
as a
Max,
fan, I don't.
would you say that if I was to give you a Samsung sponsorship deal right now?
I'll take the money, yeah, but I'm doing it for nothing, ain't I? I'm wearing a shirt and I'm
Sam,
just doing free
Sam,
sponsorship. That's what
no,
I'm
no,
saying.
no. The sponsorship, if it's done correctly, it could have a good impact. I mean, Samsung great memories. Trivago, the training kit, and the way they stood by the club through the whole
Good shout.
embargo, sanctions, and all of that. The way they stood with the club. These kind of sponsorship deals matter not only to the fans but also to the company's image. I'll tell you this: a lot of Chelsea fans, when they see that Trivago billboard or that Trivago sign, it means something to them because this company stood by us, didn't turn their backs on us, and these things matter. These things matter, and again, maybe I'm reading too much into it, but a good sponsor will resonate a great deal with the fans. I remember when 3G came in, and they promised to give us good reception in the ground. I actually went into the ground after they came in. The reception was still as bad as it was beforehand. So lies, more lies, but it is what it is. At least they tried. But yeah, big up to everyone, and I've read your comments, some fantastic comments coming through, and big up to everyone who has been with us on the stream. Please continue to smash that like button. In regards to Bobby Fairview, I have been speaking to him for the past few days, specifically in regards to financial analysis. And Bobby is prepared to come on and to give us a brief and a breakdown of what he has in regards to the financial situation. So that might happen next Sunday. So let me touch base with him. It's interesting that Max brought it up today because we literally been having this conversation over the past few days, and I may bring him on next week, and I have to see what his schedule is like, and get him to break down, the situation in details. Because me and him have had a few, back and forth in the on X discussing certain players, certain deals, and whatnot. But he does have a lot of information. He is very knowledgeable when it comes to the financial side of things,
Mm.
and he gets this information from more reliable sources than I do when it comes to the finances. So definitely keen to bring him on potentially next Sunday and have him break down some of the or answer some of the questions that you guys might have, both on the panel and in the chat. Max, you want to say something?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, on that as well. I think
Yeah.
next year as well, and they changing the rules. It's about how much you bring into the club is how much you can spend or something. I can't remember what the exact rules are, but they're changing the PSR ruling as from is it next season or the season after?
I'm not
I'm not
100.
sure
percent
that.
I'm
I'm
not
not sure the
100%.
rule.
Yeah.
Isn't
Yeah,
that
I've
that's the
heard
way it's
that.
always been
I've
though?
heard
Like
that.
it has to be football. I think they're changing that you can't sell no more hotels and stuff like that. They're closing that little
And then,
loophole. It's like all football related revenue only,
Car
right?
parks and hotels and whatnot. Yeah, yeah. The
oh, that's
restaurant.
it. I've just looked
Yeah.
at it. The Premier League is replacing its profitability and sustainability rules (PSR) with new squad cost ratios from
Mm.
the 26-27 season, limiting spending on wages, transfers, and agent fees to 85% of revenue, alongside sustainability and systemic resilience (SSR) rules, moving away from the PSR profit and loss focus
Sounds like
to
a
an
salary cap.
in-season monitoring system with potential fines or sporting sanctions for breaches. Yeah, that's from
Salary
next
cap.
season.
They'll
Mm.
just find another way. Like, yeah, you can cap the wages on the books, but they're just gonna find a way to pay them elsewhere. Like they'll just find a way. Like here's your incentive for
The Man City way.
the Man City way, the Chelsea way. They'll just find another way to do it, man. Like it's no different even with basketball. How remember Kawhi? Kawhi was getting money from what's that Bulmer or whatever through some what was it? He was supposed to be doing some commercials for some like tree company or something like that. And then the company went bankrupt and he was still coming back to that tree company to get his money. And then Ballmer had to siphon some more money into the company just so they can pay Kawhi. Like they'll find a way, man. It's they'll find a way.
Lads, last discussion point, and it's a little bit of a tricky one. probably more subjective. Chelsea are playing Arsenal in the semi-final of the Carabao Cup. First leg on Wednesday at home. Second leg is on the 3rd of Feb away. What is your expectations?
To win.
Really?
That I always want. Listen,
Aspirations is
we
different than expectations, Max.
now we played well. I know it was on the Maresca, but with 10 against the bigger teams, I'm not worried
Mm,
because we show up. Even he was expecting us to get a point against Man City the other day after everything that went on.
mm.
Callum.
We these players with young players, they love playing against the big boys to try and so to show them what they're worth. Um, I know things not playing in this playing, so that's gonna. Moise Caicedo is suspended, isn't he, for the first leg? So it's gonna
Is it
make
Caicedo or Cucurella? Or is it both?
Caicedo.
Is
Caicedo
Cucurella
is
available?
because
No,
he's not
Caicedo be
available.
Cucurella is going for a game.
One game?
Cucurella's
First.
back. But Cucurella's
Okay.
back. He was suspended against Charlton.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
think in the League Cup, it's if you get bookings in that competition. So that's why Caicedo
Okay.
he got a booking in the last leg, so that's why
Mm.
he's out for this one. Um, but you know, I say my expectations to win. That's a bit tongue in cheek. It's 2 legs. It's over 2 legs, but we tend to show up in these big games. Arsenal when they played Palace in the last leg, they struggled a bit. So um, my only thing is, do we have enough firepower for their back line as well? That's my only problem because the lap, I still think he needs to find his feet a bit more. Is
Max,
he's not clinical
manager,
enough in front of goal.
manager bouncer thing. Manager bouncer thing.
Manager bounce thing, yeah, we saw it. If those of you who are as old as me, you can remember back in the day when um, was it Rude Hillet? He, he managed the first leg of where who was it Arsenal? It was Arsenal as well, wasn't it? Funny enough,
I thought
yeah,
that
it
was
was Arsenal.
Viali. It was Viali that managed that game, and they got the
No. Rude Hillet got sacked, and Viali came in for the second leg,
oh,
and
the
we beat
second
them
leg. Yeah, yeah.
3-1. And I was actually at that match. Yeah, we won 3-1 in the second. I think we were 1-0 down or something in the first leg.
Mhm.
We won the game 3-1 through the manager bounce, and we got to the final. And I think that year we won the final, didn't we? The League Cup final.
Mhm.
Yeah. So the manager bounce can help. It can work. Let's hope history can repeat itself. It's the same team, same. It's the second. It's the semi-final as well. So let's hope history can repeat itself. But yeah, I think we got to. If we don't think we can win it, what's the point in turning up?
Yeah.
It's 2 90 minutes against two teams. I think with these players, once these players are switched on, and they can go toe to toe with anyone. We've seen it with Barcelona. The problem with this side is the inconsistency in the
Mhm.
team. But up game, any cup in a one-off cup goal, why not?
Before before I move on to the next one, the next person, I want to ask Max this last question. So scenario could happen, could happen. So Chelsea beat Arsenal and win the Carabao Cup and finish in the Champions League spot. Arsenal finish second, don't win nothing. Who's had a better season?
Chelsea.
Oh, the cup's a
I
cup.
don't care. Yeah, the cup and then fourth place. It's the team who wins the trophy. Fourth
Let's hope.
place, top
Let's
four is
hope.
not a trophy, is it?
Let's hope. Yeah, no. I agree.
Yeah.
I agree 100%. I agree. So we could
Mhm.
still end up having a better season than Arsenal. That's what I'm trying to
Wow,
say.
lots to be done still, but I would say this: with the first leg, I think it's really just going to come down to what lineup we're. If we put out a strong lineup, I think we stand a better chance. I don't think that Arsenal are looking at this competition as seriously as we are. They're probably going to rotate their squad heavily, and obviously it's a derby and a cup semifinal. How much rotation is still left to be seen? But if I'm Rosenior, I'm playing my A squad. I'm playing everybody and anybody. That includes Robert Sanchez. I know that they've been giving Jorgensen the starts in the cups. Not anymore, bro. Like semifinal, I'm going back to the guy that I know is tried tested. The other thing too is, yeah, Chelsea. The thing about Chelsea is we are a cup team now. We have been for years now. Like we're not a team that has been able to sustain any sort of like real challenge, just due to lack of consistency and youth, right? So we're not really somebody that's going to be competing for the titles as much as we are a team that can compete for cups because we get up for those one-offs, man. 100%. We put in the 100% of the effort, and we can get up for those games. It's the things that we struggle with is the rigors of a long Premier League season. Do we have the experience to pop off 4 or 5 on a trot? Can we do that? No, I don't think that we have the experience to do that yet. But you would definitely fancy us in these cups, and most even ops, they'll tell you that they fancy Chelsea in the cups for that reason. We have the squad, we have the quality within the squad, and yeah, on any given day we can show up and be that team. But it's going to be tough. Let's just be real. It's going to be tough. Like Arsenal's playing like one of the better teams in Europe right now. They're very, very stingy at the back, and it's going to be hard for us to find an opening. But if we remain compact, are able to like spring on the break and get in behind, there's nothing that would make me believe that we can't win the game. If not, get a draw and then take it back to Stamford Bridge. I'm assuming the second leg's at Stamford Bridge. Am I right
No,
about
the
that?
No,
second leg
no, no.
was
It's
first
away.
leg
It's
Stamford
away.
Bridge.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
always second leg.
Well, there we go. We got the win right then.
Knee,
Yeah. Look, it's
Echo Max. Max again, Echo.
Oh, sorry, let me go from mute.
yeah. Um, how do I? I'm not. Look. I know Chelsea have had so many issues this season when we play these bigger teams, but I'm never scared of these bigger teams. Anytime we meet them, the Man City game, a lot of people were scared, and I even came over here. Look, I made a preview and I said it was Chelsea going to be win it 1-0. I do not remember my mistake. We were lucky that we drew. I mean, it was a 1-1. But then do not remember making a mistake. Same thing with Arsenal. I know they have defensively strong, but offensively they are struggling. The Gilchrist they spend so much money on is not firing. You get what I'm saying? So I'm not scared of Arsenal. We saw them earlier this season. Was it last season? Yeah, I think last season rather. Last season. Well, this season, it's gonna be similar situation. First leg at
Yeah,
Stamford Bridge, I think.
the season we beat them 1-1 with 10 men.
Yeah, and then we beat Liverpool. So yeah, I'm not scared. I think Chelsea will get a point from that. And if things should go on very well, new manager bounce back, I'm telling you, we're gonna win against these guys. I'm not scared of Arsenal at all. Set pieces will only be my problem because they're very, very good. They whip the ball in that far corner. That makes it very difficult for the goalkeeper to. But Sanchez, oh my God, I love Sanchez. The people don't give him that chance, and I've said many times that he will grow, he will get better. A lot of people say we don't have a goalkeeper this season. I said there's a goalkeeper there. If you look at the statistics from last season and how he was maturing and getting better as a goalkeeper, playing out from the back goalkeeper, old school goalkeeper, and reinforced. And even Maresca said Maresca was one of the problem, was one of the reasons why he was playing so bad because he made that instruction that you need to play out from the back. You need to do this. If you don't do that, he's gonna drop you from the. He's gonna drop you. He's taking you out of the team, and they made that publicly. Enzo Maresca made that publicly, and you're telling goalkeepers to make up one of those killer passes from the back, and always pressure on them, pressure on the goalkeepers. They're trying to make passes to their center backs. It's not an easy thing to do, and that's why we saw Sanchez to be as bad as we thought it was last season, and he has grown up to be better. I know it's not going to be too much of a thing for Rosenior. It will be match fixed. It will be better. He'll go long when he has to, and if there's room for him. He will play out from the back, and it's now better. He's developed to be a good goalkeeper now. So I don't have a problem. I think that it will be a win. It will be a win for Chelsea, but maybe a narrow win, maybe 2-1. If I should go, definitely going to be a 2-1.
All right, positive outlook from everyone. I am hoping that we are going to get a result against Arsenal. I think we can. Two legs. We do step up when it comes to stronger opposition. This is a derby. You know, Chelsea, Arsenal, all the players, they're going to know how important this is, and it's one step away from a cup final. So I think we will be up for it. They will be up for it, and I think we will be up for it just a little bit more. I want to tell you guys that all my panelists on the show are linked in my homepage. Their channels are all on my homepage. You can click and go and check out their content. Please show your love and support to all my panelists. Check out their content. They have some great content. I'm going to give each one a couple of minutes to introduce their content for you guys. Let's start with Max. Max, the Blue Bridge. Tell us about the type of content you produce, brother.
Yeah, hi guys. It's my content started off years ago as football family feuds, what I'd done with my two boys because they were rival supporters. Supports Chelsea. I won't tell you who the other one supports. But,
Is that Elijah?
yes. But yeah, so as they got older, they've gone off. So I just do mainly more to do with match day and reaction videos these days. I don't do as much content as I used to because of time constraints. I've got lots of work going on, but I try to do a post match analysis, and sometimes I make some reaction videos depending on what's going on in and around the club. Yeah, so that's my channel basically.
So Max, and I have been on this journey since before 1,000 subscribers were hit on the Blue Lounge. So that's how far me and Max go. And I remember the videos you're talking about, Max, with you and your sons, man. It was
Mm.
great content. Great content. Couch critic. We'll leave Nee to the end because most of you guys know Nee. Couch critic. Tell us about your content, brother.
Just tactical analysis from game to game. I don't necessarily do a lot of it because, as Max says, I'm just as busy. I got, my little kid running around and, actual work and stuff like that. So I just do it for the enjoyment of it. And, it's popping off a little bit here and there. Got about like 100 people that usually tune in, which is more than enough for me. But yeah, just keep it going. Tactical approach.
Well done.
And very
Well
good,
done.
by the way. Great
Very
tactical analysis.
fantastic. Couch has a very what's the word here? A rational point of view, a very logical mindset when it comes to his analysis. So please go and check out his content. You will enjoy it. You will enjoy it. That's Couch Critic and Blue Bridge. Now Blue Clouds Media. Nee Zion, tell us about your content, brother.
I mean, you guys all know me. A lot of you, majority of you guys all here knows what I do. Pretty much at least 4 contents a day, live streaming, and I do videos as well when I have the time. Yeah, got a lot of work on my hands, but I got my hands full each and every day. But I try as much as I can to produce the content each and every day. 3 boys, two twins. I mean, twin boys, and then their brother. That's a lot of work, and
Oh, yeah.
plus, yeah, handiwork in the house. Also, everything that has to be rebuilt is by me, and I still been able to produce all that content. We are just literally about 600 100 more to hit 20K, and the journey hasn't been that easy. About 5 to 6 years now since the Blue Clouds Media thing is there. There's a lot of things that we have coming up, but I don't want to let everything out of the basket. So I'll keep it and I'll surprise you guys. So yeah, if you're first time watching being here, you haven't seen the content that we create. Yeah, I do everything. And when my tactical knowledge comes on, I'll bring it in. If it's not there and it's all my fun reaction, I'll put it there. If it's transfer that you want, is there. Everything, Real Madrid, whatever you want, it will be there for you. I'm just sports fanatic, not going into everything. Yeah, so every day, everything, reporting news, I'm there. In the summer, I'll be your go-to guy if you're looking for where Chelsea at, what you're doing in the summer here in America. Yeah, look for me. I'll be right there, running after Rosenior everywhere he goes. So yeah,
Are we coming back to the States next year? This
what was
is
that?
I think it's the World Cup. I don't.
they're touring.
Yeah,
Yeah, not this year, probably next year because of the World
yeah.
Cup. So
Yeah.
we're not going to see much of Chelsea this year. And last year, this year, I mean last year too, because of the Club World Cup, we couldn't see any what do you call it, preseason. Yeah, so next year I'm sure.
Lads, when
Oh
you
yeah, I think this year after the World Cup, there will be preseason, but maybe a little bit. Yeah,
Yeah, they won't come abroad. I don't think they're going to stay in U.S. though.
I think it'll be
probably
local,
in
local
local, yeah,
fixtures. Yeah.
because of the World Cup. So yeah.
If you subscribe, make sure you turn that bell notification button on because as you've just heard, we're all fathers here. We've all got kids, so our upload schedule is erratic. The only thing I can guarantee is the Sunday Night Live show at 10 p.m. Everything else is going to be erratic, and I think it's the same for my panelists. We've got kids, so make sure when you do subscribe to any one of my panelists, turn that bell notification button on so you are notified as and when we decide, as and when we get an opportunity to upload a video for you guys. But yeah, thank you, Max. Thank you, Nee. Thank you, Couch. Thank you to every one of you guys in the chat. It has been a pleasure. And we will see you back for the next live show on Sunday night, 10 p.m. next week. Take care, stay safe, and peace.